Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Terrell Owens explains why he still won't step foot in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It has been 3 years since Terrell Owens was finally inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but the legendary wide receiver who skipped his ceremony still has no plans to make his way to Canton. The 47-year-old wide receiver told Bob Glauber of Newsday that the latest round of voting is further evidence for why he should plan to continue his boycott of the Hall of Fame. No disrespect to anybody that got in, but I just don't understand the process. He said Calvin Johnson got in on the first ballot. This guy has nothing to do with Calvin himself. The guy was a beast, but there's no justification when you have Torrey Holt and Reggie Wayne on this year's ballot that have done equal or greater things. Owens, despite statistically being one of the greatest wide receivers of all time among the ranks of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss, was kept out of the Hall of Fame his first 2 years on the ballot. Many writers pointed to his polarizing personality, in which he was quick to criticize his quarterbacks, such as Jeff Garcia and Donovan McNabb, that often made him the center of controversy. Nobody's perfect, he said. If you want to cast judgment on an individual based on a few things that you hear from coaches, I can't stop that. Well, a great player hasn't gotten into an argument with their coach or another teammate. I'm no different than anybody else. I haven't done anything more drastic than anyone else. Owens also argued there was a racial component to the way he was perceived. At one point, I became the villain. Owens said, when I saw that other guys were doing similar things and looked at it in a different light, I knew it was obvious as to what was going on. We talked about systematic racism. I was a part of it. I felt it. Talked to my receivers coaches, George Stewart, Larry Kirksey, David Culley, Ray Sherman. They said if you were doing something wrong, we would tell you. I thank those coaches. They know I'm indebted to them. The voters finally agreed to let Owens in on his third year in the ballot, which included an impassioned speech from the late NFL reporter Terez Paylor, who argued on Owens' behalf. The wide receiver recently learned about Paylor's speech this week after his sudden passing at the age of 37 and said what Paylor did was courageous. Now, I'm not the biggest T.O. fan, and I'm not, but I do agree with him on that there is a systematic racism, and it is a way where black receivers or quarterbacks are perceived, if they're yelling at their teammates, they're perceived as alienating their teammates, while if the white guy like Tom Brady or somebody, Aaron Rodgers, go at their teammates, they're seen as they're leading. So I agree with them on that. But I call bull crap on why T.O.'s not going. T.O.'s not going because he's still pissed off that Randy Moss got in first ballot while he did it. And he felt like him, being the buster he is, went and dry snitched on Randy Moss and Marvin Harrison, talking about, well, they're off the field issues. You know, I never had none. T.O., it's not about just off the field issues. Your problem is you were uncoachable. You know, and your thing is you were uncoachable. You always were going toe-to-toe. You threw your quarterbacks under the bus. First, you said about Jeff Garcia, I heard from a teammate that he was homosexual. What does that got to do with him on the field, T.O.? I don't care if he was wearing panties out to, that's his business. If he wanted to cross-dress, let him do that. If he wants to play with a dude, let him do that. That has nothing to do with the field, T.O. Then you basically said, well, white players don't get in the end zone as much as black players. So, you know, the celebrations, I can see why they're coming down on me. Why would you even say that? There's been plenty of white guys to get in the end zone. Steve Largent, Dave Casper. Do I have to keep going down the line? Ken Stabler and ran the ball in a few times. Horning has ran the ball in. What are you talking about? Are you stupid, dumb, or retarded? I think you're all three. Then let's go to Donovan McNabb. You basically were yelling at McNabb to give you the ball. McNabb was giving you the ball more. You had more targets in your career than damn near every receiver in history, than Jerry or Randy Moss. You got the ball all the time and you still were complaining. You still was crying like a little punk. Then you threw Donovan under the bus. Well, I heard from teammates, even though I didn't see it, but I heard that he was throwing up in the huddle. Okay. But everybody else says that we denied, we didn't even see him. A camera didn't even catch him doing that. And even teammates have came out and said he wasn't throwing up in the huddle. So what are you talking about? You was that much of a hater. Then you went to Dallas. I'm not going to blame Dallas on you because Dallas ain't been jacked since Jimmy left. But still, you're going to call out Tony Romo and Jason Witten. Man, their relationship, they're kind of close because Romo's always throwing him the ball. Dog, you were getting the ball thrown to you just as much as Witten. Now, I agree in certain situations, I wish Romo would throw you the ball more than he did Witten. I agree with you on that. And then everywhere else, you didn't have nothing to say. In Cincinnati, you basically tore the chemistry up with that team there. That team, you basically messed the dynamic up. You were getting the ball all the time while Chad was over there like, hey, I'm still here. I'm Chad. Then you went to Buffalo. You were done at that point. So it really didn't matter. Dog, stop deflecting. That is your problem. You're always deflecting. Take ownership. All you had to say was, I'm not going to the Hall of Fame because I felt like I should have been first ballot. I'm still bitter. If you would have said that, T.O., I would respect you. But you're going to bring up Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt, who were number 2 receivers compared to a number 1. Reggie Wayne, as much as I love Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt, they are not as good as Calvin Johnson. I'm sorry. I don't even need to look at numbers. It's not even close. Now, if you wanted to make an argument for Brandon Marshall, I would agree. Brandon Marshall, to me, should get in because of his numbers. He was the number 1 receiver everywhere he went. So if you want to make an argument for him, Brandon Marshall was very underrated. But, dude, you're going to say Reggie Wayne and them over Calvin Johnson? Come on, dog. We know that's bull crap. We even know, even Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp finally ain't stick ride for once. He had to say, T.O., you still bitter because you was picked. Shannon Sharp was picked 3rd or 4th. 3rd or 4th. That's when he went in. He was passed up 3 times. And Shannon Sharp was arguably one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. And he was clutch. He was more clutcher than you. I would take him over you any day. And I mean, it's like, dude, you're not in my top 10, dog. You're not. Calvin's better than you. Marvin Harrison's better than you. Chris Carter was better than you. Tim Brown was better than you. It's a lot. Larry Fitzgerald's better than you. Dog, what are we talking about here? You're just mad because they put you in second ballot. And the reason they did that, T.O., is because you threw people under the bus and you always deflected. You never took onus. As a man, I don't respect you. Because if it was me, when I was playing on my team at Texas Southern, even though a lot of stuff wasn't my fault, I still took the blame. When I was the leader at Lakewood High School playing football, I still took the blame. I wasn't that good in college because I was playing middle linebacker, but that's no excuse. I sucked in college. I had some good flashes here and there before my knee tore, but I wasn't that good. I could have been better. I should have worked harder. But that's me. That's my fault why I didn't make it. Your fault, you don't know how to own up to your crap. Just own up to it. Just say, you know what? I messed up. I messed up, man. I was too busy, man, trying to worry about me, get my popcorn ready. It's like, dog, that's all you had to do. That's all you had to do, man. And I'm tired of this. You were a great football player. I can't take that away from you. You are talented. Your numbers speak for themselves, but that's all you are is numbers. That's why you never won. You never knew how to sacrifice, T.O. Randy Moss sacrificed. He sacrificed. That's why the Patriots got to the Super Bowl. That's why the Vikings were one step from going to the Super Bowl, because he sacrificed. You never sacrificed. Then because of your negligence and your pettiness, McNabb's not in the Hall of Fame because of your cooning. You're cooning. You are. You talking about, man, McNabb fake. You fake too. You fake too, T.O. You always saying another teammate or somebody said something. Be a man, grab your nuts, and own up to your crap. That's why you never won. That's why nobody considers you a top five. That's why a lot of the real football fans would never want you on their team. Because you would tear it apart. Because of this BS. Who cares if Jeff Garcia loved men? Allegedly. If he does, I don't care. We had guys on my team, some of them was going both ways, even though they didn't want nobody to know, but there was some who did. That was them. But when we on that field, that's my brother. I'm finna fight for him. You didn't do that. You pointed fingers. And when your team tried to back you up, you threw them under the bus as well. So just be honest, dog, and tell everybody the truth. You know what? I sucked. I didn't do well. I should have led. I should have led by example, and I should have been a vocal leader. That's all you have to say, T.O. But talking about Reggie Wayne and Torrey Holt should be in, I believe they are Hall of Fame worthy. I think Holt is, and I think Wayne is, but they never were the guy. Isaac Bruce and Marvin Harrison really made their job easy. It's the facts. Calvin Johnson, who he played with? Roy Williams and Golden Tate? Are you serious? And you're going to diss Calvin Johnson? Come on, T.O., man. Stop with this crap, dog. Man, go have a Coke and a smile and sit your ass down. Nobody want to hear this crap from you. I'm out, man. Deezy.